Welcome back, guys. In the previous tutorial we just learned about how to create a Django application. Now in this tutorial we're going to learn about how to add a REST API to our project, right? So first of all, I have created a model of book, and it contains few fields like title and the author, and yes, that's common. And now basically we are going to add a REST API. So before going to add a REST API, we just need to hit a command like pip install and Django REST framework. Now basically you just need to install the Django REST framework before going to do or doing any kind of work. I will not going to do this because I've already installed it. So fine. So now we will be adding this. So first of all, just go to your application and right click and create a new file and save it as serializer.py. Okay, fine. So once you have created your serializer file, and you just need to import from REST framework some sets of classes. Now we're going to create a class, serializer class. So what does a serializer do? A serializer basically represents your data into a JSON format or an XML format. So basically we just need to provide it two things. One is basically which class or which model of which the data is to be represented in a JSON format, and another is basically what are those fields that need to be shown. So fine, we will be creating a class and we will inherit this serializer. So we will type this as book serializer, and once being done, we just need to type serializers dot hyperlinked model serializers. Fine. And once being done, we just need to define another class called meta within the class, and we will be typing the model that we are telling that on which model you have to apply, right? Of which model we have to represent the JSON format, right? So we have defined our model. Its name as book, and the field that we wanted to represent will be the URL, will be the title, and the author name, right? But before using any kind of stuff, we always need to import. So we will be importing the model also, because we cannot use it as directly. So yes, our book model is being imported, and we are using with the with serializer over here, right? So our serializer is created. Now it's time to create a view set. So again, we will move on to views, and we will be creating our view sets, right? So from REST framework, import view sets, right? So now these view sets act as a controller, and basically they allow us to show our data in a proper manner, and it also allows us to perform operations like read, create, read, update, delete, right? So it's just like controller in an MVC framework. So for doing that, we just need to define another class, and we will be calling it as book view set, and we will be inheriting it. Oops. Okay, now basically model view set. So basically this is the class which will allow us to do create, read, update, delete operations, right? Model view set. And now basically here we will be defining that which data we wanted to perform operations on, like create, read, and update, delete. So for that, we will be performing an SQL, or you can say the object relational query, that book.object.all will gather or fetch all the data from the table called book, just like select star from table, right, where book name is something else. So in SQL it's quite simple, but in this basically you have to type book.object.all to fetch all the data, right? So once being done, but since we cannot use it because we need to always import anything before using any model. So from model import book, we have imported the model, and we just need to tell that what are the data to be fetched, on which operations to be performed, and secondary, which serializer to be used. So from here also we need to define the serializer from serializer, import the book serializer. Just need to check we have created, yes, book serializer. Just copy that and basically add here. Yeah, so fine, our serializer is being imported. Now we can use it over here and just save it as. So our view set is ready, our serializer is ready. Now it's time to finally tell the Django that hey, just add all those at one place. So for that we need to use a router. Basically when user will type something like book or like www.localhost.com/book, so it will redirect to those particular views that we wanted to actually show, right? So serializer will do the job of representing the data into the format of JSON and XML, and ViewSet basically allows us to perform operation like create, read, update, delete, right? And URL basically tell Django that hey, just if somebody types this kind of command, then just redirect that guy into that view, and if someone type like book 1, book 2, book 3, then basically redirect that guy into another place, right? So we'll be creating a URL, but before that we just need to define a router configuration, because DRF has its own one. So we'll be from REST framework, we will be importing that, import routers, and once being done we just need to create the object of that router, routers dot default. We will be using default router, and we just need to register those routes. So we will be registering those routes, and like so the register function will take two parameters. One is the prefix, that if somebody will type books, then it will be redirected to a particular view, right? So the first parameter is prefix, so we will give it like book, and the second one is basically the view. So first of all, before using anything, we just need to import. We are importing the views, and now with the help of views we have created, just need to go at the views and just see what view. It's a book view set, right? So just copy that and basically just paste over here. So our view set is ready, so basically our register is ready, and finally we will be creating our route and telling Django that hey, include the route of register. So it will be like include and routers dot urls. Fine, it should be router dot urls. Fine. So I think that is completed and it should work. There might be some errors, but we will just figure it out how to do it. So yeah, fine, just hit enter. See what happened. Our server is down, I think so. Okay, our server is not started yet. Okay, we haven't started, so finally we have to just hit this manage py and server. So basically our server is live, and just hit, and yes, there is an error of at line number 3 of views. So let's figure it out where it is. So in the views there's a line number 3, and say it's from import from dot models. Okay, there is an error of s because there is an issue. So I think so it must eliminate that. Other error is there, that is serializer at py and line number 2. So serializer at line number 2, it says okay, I have an issue with s. Cool. Okay, register take 3 argument and 2 givens. Okay, let's see what's error is there. Basically register that. Okay, so we haven't provided the views. The register function should have 2 parameters. One is book and another is the view, right? One is the prefix and another is the view, right? So now it should work, and yes, it's working fine. So you can see that the router is allowing us and showing us the first entry point, right? So this is the actual code which is binding us here, and once we will hit this, we will be redirected to all of our entry within the database, And from here, now this is the work of serializer to represent our data in the form of JSON. I think here we can, yes, you can say that in the we can represent our data into any other form also, like JSON and API. And yes, and what other thing that we can think of? Yes, okay, fine, everything is working fine. So let's check to update entry. Like title will be like Goosebumps, right? And author will be someone else, and just post it and just go to API route, and once we will hit book, it will show every entry in the database. So fine, it's working. So that's all for this tutorial, guys. In the next tutorial, I will probably show you how to create an Android client to, you know, fetch all those data, and to update also, to read also, to delete also. And yes, in the next tutorial, I will tell you also some of the basic security features that you can add into your project, like unauthenticated users cannot see the view, or basically only the admin will be able to see a particular data set, right? So these are all kind of basic security features that we will be discussed in the next tutorial, right? So till then, just watch and keep tuning. Thank you for watching, guys. Catch you in the next tutorial.